I finally did it. I moved to Seoul, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why. So full disclosure, I have actually been living in South Korea for almost 7 years now. I think August 19th, it will be exactly 7 years. And I only just moved to Seoul 2 months ago. So when I first was coming to Korea, my intention was to live in Seoul. Of course, everyone wants to live in Seoul. It's the capital, it's, you know, the city life, and all you ever hear about when you hear about Korea is Seoul or Busan, but mostly Seoul, and you know how nice it is to live in Seoul and how amazing it is. And so of course, when I decided that I was coming to Korea, I wanted to move to Seoul. And so I applied to a bunch of different agencies. I tried Epic, I tried Getbig. I don't know if they're still around, but at the time I had applied to Getbig. I applied through different recruiters, and I even applied to some direct job listings. And nothing panned out. Like, I was just getting rejected from all sides. And you know, I tried really hard and I kept doing it. I think it was like a couple of months that I was trying to get a position in Seoul. I got turned down a lot, actually. Like I said, I was getting rejected from all sides, but that wasn't like the initial reaction. At first, I would send my resume through and everything would go great. Everything was, you know, fine. And then they would ask me for a picture and I would send my picture through, and then it was just like actual crickets, like just complete silence. I would never hear back from these recruiters. And at first I just didn't know what to make of it, so I kept trying with different people. And eventually I got this email back, you know, after sending my picture, and the recruiter actually told me, you know, we're actually looking for white teachers. And so I was just kind of shocked and really annoyed, and I decided to just stop looking for a position in Seoul. I ended up finding this company called Canadian Connections. So I applied through them, and then they put me with the JLP program. And so the JLP program, for those of you who don't know, is the Jeollanam-do language program. So Jeollanam-do is actually in the south of South Korea. So I ended up going there, and the first place that I was put in was called Yeongam. And Yeongam is a really, really small place with not much to do and not many people. Like literally, you can barely do your groceries there, at least if you're a foreigner. And so it was just, you know, when I got there, I was shocked. Like, I'd never lived in a place like that. And so I didn't even think that I would last that long, but I actually ended up loving it. I stayed there for 3 years, and I taught at an elementary school. Absolutely loved it. And I ended up going home for like 6 months to spend time with my family. And so when I was coming back to Korea, I decided that I was going to try again to move to Seoul. And again, I put out some applications, sent out my resume, and again, I was just getting denied from all fronts. So I got annoyed. This time there wasn't any like, you know, we want white teachers or anything like that, but I just wasn't, like, it wasn't clicking. I wasn't getting any job opportunities. So I decided that I would just go back to JLP. So I applied with JLP again, and this time I was put in Suncheon. And again, I ended up loving my school. I taught at a high school that plays baduk, if any of you guys know. I think the English name for it is called Go. It has like black and white pieces, kind of like chess. Is it chess, or what's the other one called? Checkers? Yeah, I think checkers. So yeah, I taught at a school that was specifically for that game, and it was a high school, and I absolutely loved it. I stayed there for another 3 years. Eventually, all the friends that I had made in Jeollanam-do ended up moving to Seoul, and so I was spending basically most of my weekends coming up to Seoul, and you know, spending my weekends here and then going back and then coming back up the weekend again and then going back. And it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of money, a lot of time. And so eventually I just decided, you know, why am I staying down there? As much as I love it, maybe I should move. And so it still took me a little bit of time to decide whether I wanted to move or not. The thing that I was holding on to as well was like, you know, I had such a great school, and you hear such horror stories about hagwons and different experiences that people have teaching in Korea, and I was really worried that, you know, what if I leave my school? What if I come here and I end up at a really crappy school, or they like are horrible people, my coworker is terrible. And so like my thought was, why ruin a good thing? You know, why would I leave this school that's absolutely amazing? And also in the Jeolnamdo program, I think they have like such great vacations. So we get 2 weeks in the summer. You get one, but if you renew, you get 2 weeks. And then in the winter, we would get, I think it was 24 days. They ended up changing that in the contract. So like throughout the year, we got 31 days of vacation for a whole year. And so like, you know, obviously that's amazing because not a lot of people get such great vacation. You know, sometimes if you live in Seoul, you don't even get vacation, or you get maybe 5 days of vacation per year, 10 days if you're lucky. And so I was just like, I love traveling. We obviously live in a foreign country. I want to be able to go home sometimes and see my family. And you can't really do that with 5 days, especially because I live in Canada. It's like a 13-hour flight to get to Canada, time difference. By the time you travel back and forth, you already like lost 2 days. And so yeah, vacation time was really important for me. I didn't want to lose that. I loved my schools. And so I thought, you know, why would I leave that? And that's the main thing that kept me in Suncheon and Jeolnamdo for so long. And so eventually I just decided that I should have faith and take the leap and just see where I would end up. And thankfully, you know, if you have great friends, they hook you up with like job opportunities, which is what happened in my case. I have a really good friend who helped me get the job that I'm at right now. And so I moved, I have a new apartment. I'm living in Seoul. I've been here for about 2 months now, and it's been an experience because, as you guys know, you know, it's Corona times, and so Seoul isn't exactly as it was before. It's slowly getting back to normal, but it's just like a new normal and something that I'm getting used to because, you know, Seoul during the summer is so exciting and there's so many things to do, and it's not really the case right now. But I am liking it. I am making the most of it, and I'm really glad that I moved. So yeah, that is my story. That is how I ended up in Seoul. I will be making more videos. My apartment tour is going to be the next video that I upload, so if you want to see that, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you like this video, and make sure you leave me a comment and let me know what kind of other videos you would love to see. I'd love to see you back on my channel. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.